from Arrow Video comes, in glorious 4K UHD, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not that one. This is the remake, the Michael Bay produced remake from 2003. It is in 4K UHD. It is 98 minutes long. It is directed by Marcus Nispel, who was a music video and commercial director who did the both the Conan and Friday the 13th remakes. It features Jessica Biel, Ermey, Eric Balfour, Andrew Bernarski as Leatherface, and we're going to tell you all about it. I'll give you my opinion, which probably doesn't matter, but I'm going to give you my opinion, but I'll tell you all about what this disc is. Excuse me, I get choked up when I talk about remakes. This is a really nicely done set. I'm going to say that up front. The film is presented in English 5.1, English 7.1, English 2.0, stereo, surround. English SDH subtitles optional. It was originally a New Line / Platinum Dunes release. It's set in 1973. It's not a strict remake of the original. The things that have similar with the original is the idea that it's set in the early 70s. It's a group of people in a van on their way, group of youths, hippie type youths, not really hippie types, but group of youths, and they come across really bad things in the Texas heat in the middle of nowhere. And it features a house that contains Leatherface and a chainsaw and people who might, eat people. A lot of them. So other than that, the characters are different. The story, as it were, there really isn't a lot of a story to this. There really wasn't a lot of a story to the original. It's people who stop at the wrong place at the wrong time. And as the tagline went, the greatest tagline ever, who will survive and what will be left of them? So this is set in the past, shot by Daniel Pearl, who shot the original film, with people who really did respect the original film and want to do something different and knew that they were going up against. You can't remake that, which was my attitude at the time, but I went to see it and didn't really think much of it. And I will say up front, I watched it again thinking, it's been a long time. It's been 22 years. What do I think of it now? And the answer is, I still don't really care for it. So the camera, for the opening at least of the film, the camera is always too close to everybody and zooming in and out and moving, and it's cut. And my notes here that I'm going to tip you off that I'm glancing at were just calm the F down and hold a shot. My first impression of the cast is that they were a bunch of vapid a-holes who say the F word way too much for reality. I swear a lot. I know a lot of people who swear a lot. A lot of screenwriters think people swear a lot more than they actually do. Jessica Biel is very nice to look at in the film, if I can say that as a callous male. If you really like Eric Balfour, I would suggest that you watch the extras because he does get fully nude in the extras. And it really devolves into just a lot of screaming and being chased through with shaky camera work and dim lighting. It really does nail the feeling that you are in Texas and that everything is just hot and dusty and grimy. It nails the gruesomeness of what these people, the bad guys, are doing. It does not shy away. It shies away only as much as, it doesn't shy away as much as the MPAA would allow them to not shy away. There is a bit more gore in the deleted scenes on the disc, but it works in the BS found footage angle that I loathe. The film is bookended by that, and it just, to me, and it's based on actual stuff. I mean, they really, when you listen to the extras, and I listened to all and looked at all of the extras, they really did try their best to make the best film they could. And some people really do like this. It's just, for me, if we're being honest, it's hard to get over. The original Chainsaw Massacre is perfect. So to see somebody else try it again, a sequel is a different thing, but to try it again as a, and maybe there's a way in your brain you could say, well, this is a sequel. This is just a different group of people who accidentally stumbled upon that family at the wrong time and suffered the consequences. The found footage angle, they said they tried to base it on actual crime scene footage of various things, whether it's the Ed Gein house or the Wonderland murders walkthrough, which mind-blowingly was an extra on the DVD of the movie Wonderland. But it does the movie thing of, so it's shooting this on film. It's the early 70s. And knowing what I know about film is your mag only has so much. And if it was a police crew, my guess is that you didn't have a lot. Whether you were shooting it on Super 8 or 16, you only had a couple minutes max, or you're having to constantly change the film. And it's following a guy down into the basement where these horrors are found, but the camera is pointing at the guy talking the whole time. And my guess is if you're shooting crime scene footage, your focus, the important thing is not the person who's talking on the behalf of law enforcement. The important thing with that precious footage that you have is the scene, is to capture the scene. And the fact that somebody's narrating that live on mic is good, but you don't need to see them. And that it took me out of it immediately. And again, I hate found footage because it's just an excuse to do a really bad job at how things look. So anyway, I'm not a fan of this film. I did give it another shot. To be honest with you, I might even give it another shot again after listening to the extras and developing goodwill for the production team. And maybe it's one of those things where you watch a movie, you don't like it, you watch it again not long afterwards, and you're like, okay, I know what I'm getting this time. I'm really going to try to enjoy this. So maybe I will. It's certainly brutal. It certainly, lives up to the title. There is there's Massacre with the Chainsaw in Texas, but it did not work for me. Now, I will say that Arrow has also released on Blu-ray and or 4K Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, the prequel to this film, which I've never seen, and I will give that a totally fair shake. Maybe I'll like that better because it's not purporting to be the same as the original. Anyway, this movie is not the same as the original. Let me tell you about the extras. I've either reinforced the fact that you don't like this film, or I have just talked crap about a film you love, and we're going to get beyond that because my opinion is just my opinion. So the extras, this is a single disc release. We have a new commentary by Steve Uncle Creepy Barton and Chris McGibbon. Uncle Creepy was from the Dread Central website for a very long time, and this is two fans talking about the film in terms of what their expectations were when it came out, what the fan base's expectations were when it came out, how it was received at the time, and how it plays watching it now. I found it interesting, even though, again, I don't care for this film. It was an interesting listen. You got a 2003 commentary. So here's the deal. When this came out on DVD originally, New Line, I believe they call it the Platinum Edition. New Line did a really nice deluxe job on a lot of DVDs, just loading them up with extras when films were first hitting disc. This ports over all that stuff, plus some new stuff. And if it's new, I'll tell you. So that was the new commentary. You get a 2003 commentary entitled The Production, which is a commentary by director Marcus Nispel, producer Michael Bay, executive producers Andrew Foreman, Brad Fuller, and New Line Cinema founder Robert Shea. You get another 2003 commentary called Technical Aspects. There's 3 of 2003 commentaries on this. Called it's Technical Aspects with director Marcus Nispel, cinematographer Daniel Pearl, production designer Greg Blair, art director Scott Gallagher, sound editor Trevor Jolly, and composer Steve Jablonski. These are all really well done with people were clearly, I think a lot of times recorded separately, but it's edited nicely so that there's like almost no dead space and not a lot of people like talking over each other. A third 2003 commentary, The Story. This is director Marcus Nispel, producer Michael Bay, executive producers Andrew Foreman, Brad Fuller, screenwriter Scott Kozar, and actors Jessica Biel, Erica Learshin, Eric Balfour, Jonathan Tucker, Mike Vogel, and Andrew Bernarski. It's loaded. That's just the commentaries. We have new interviews that were done for this release with Reimagining a Classic with Marcus Nispel, that's 16 minutes. Shadows of Yesteryear with Daniel C. Pearl, the cinematographer, that's 17 minutes. The Lost Leatherface, this is an interview with actor Brett Wagner, that's 15 minutes. He was hired to be Leatherface in this movie and not far into the shoot suffered extreme heat exhaustion and had to be hospitalized. And because it was a lowish budget film and they needed to keep up the pace with their shooting, they replaced him with Andrew Bernarski. So it talks about his joy of getting the gig, his joy as a fan of being another Leatherface, and his sorrow of taking one, getting hit, going down, taking one for the team, as it were, and being told he's being replaced, and how he has sort of made peace with that legacy. Masks and Massacres interview with makeup effects artist Scott Stoddard, that's 18 minutes. Chainsaw Symphony interview with composer Steve Jablonski, that's 19 minutes. And then you have archive extras that are ported over from the DVD. You get Chainsaw Redux, Making a Massacre, 76 minutes, almost as long as the film itself. Ed Gein, The Ghoul of Plainfield, 24 minutes, and that really gets into the history of the guy who people now know because there's a new Netflix series about him, but the guy that Chainsaw Massacre was sort of based on, that Psycho was said to be sort of based on. Severed Parts featurette discussing deleted scenes, that's 17 minutes, and you see most of those scenes in full while the director talks about why they were taken out and where they would have fallen and what didn't work, he thought. Screen tests, these are each shot on video, very short excerpts from their screen tests that are done like in a office somewhere. Jessica Biel is 3 minutes. Eric Balfour is 3 minutes. And Erica Learshon is just 1 minute. Cast and crew interviews, it's 18 minutes. It's basically electronic EPK, electronic press kit kind of stuff, where they're on the set saying, my character is, I think this movie is going to, that's, as I said, 18 minutes behind the scenes, 9 minutes, that's 4x3 video. Trailers. You get the Michael Bay teaser trailer. This is the one that was just audio, which I remember seeing in the theater, was very effective, of the sound of a woman trapped in a basement running around and bopping between speakers in the theater, and a chainsaw starting up. That's 1.5 minutes. Very good teaser trailer. Theatrical trailer, 2.5 minutes. 8 TV spots that total 4 minutes. Concept art. This is a still frame gallery. There is one that's for production concept art. That is 10 images. Leatherface concept art gallery. That's 13 images. You get 9.5 minutes of deleted scenes, just about all of which were in that other deleted scenes featurette. And I watched it all again, and it didn't seem like there was much more than maybe a few seconds here and there that wasn't in that other thing. These are just presented one after the other without anybody talking over them. And then you get a 74 image gallery. So it is really loaded. It's everything that was on the old disc, so you can frisbee those old DVDs, new stuff, great looking transfer, a movie I didn't like. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, 4K UHD from Arrow.